I'm sorry, buddy. I'm abandoning you. Welcome back, everyone, for another round of Scrap Mechanic. Now, I have been doing testing with the new work vehicle, trying to find a way to make the pickup mechanism work, but I've kind of run out of ideas for right now, so instead, I have been doing some work over here on the new base platform, which you see is still quite large, but I have expanded because, honestly, I'm getting tired of carrying this bucket around. I'm getting tired of having to haul water up here to toss it in and collect these every time, which... Granted, I don't need a lot of stuff for trade right now, but I do want to fix this. So I have been playing with things like the logic gate. Finally have one of those working. So I have an alternating controller for 2 pistons to lift me up here. So that means I have access to an up area, protected if I do get a bot here. For hopefully, now that I know where this is, mounting up a new water gun setup. That's what I'm going to be doing today. I want to get a new water gun setup going, and then I can redo this how I need to make it look nicer. But yeah, I want to go and do a water gun setup so it can fire water down from there and cover the entire set of plots here, and I can get rid of this stupid bucket. And to that end, I've also made sure to test and make sure that the water pump will work from that distance. So I have a piston, just a standard level 1, max height, way up there. That looks to be about the same height as what I have over there. If I do this, boom, still works, which would make sense. I mean, it is kind of like a big glob of water, not so much a spray. One block here that should be directly above each one, because you can see it's 1, 2, 3 blocks to the next one. So that's 1, 2, 3. And so it's the same approach I took before. Basically, each row is going to feature an extra block lower, and I'm going to have a sensor on top of each of the water pumps. That basically this sensor is going to trigger each water pump itself, so that the water pump will only fire if the sensor goes over a block. And so by having basically one extra little block there, when that sensor goes across, it's going to be sitting there. Oh yeah, there's not a block on top of that. It's not covered up high enough. Goes across, pop, pop, and pop. It just keeps going. It'll do that all the way across, and I need it to go sits across. So one advantage with this is it's not really that expensive. The sensors can be level 1 because you're only going to be using a very short distance. It also means you don't have to worry about messing with any weird timing. It's just going to be a case of as the piston pushes them across, it's going to connect them at the right time because you got them spaced at the right height. And I may actually be taking this out afterwards since everything's connected there. It just made it easy to space everything. Actually, you know what? I can go ahead and do that, because it's not even connected. There we go. So that gives me that. And so what this is going to do is I'm going to have the pistons here to push, and I've got to make sure I place this at the appropriate height level. You know what? I could just do, instead of a piston like that, I could have a single piston that pushes a bar all the way across instead of doing like that. So I could do one, I could do a piston there that then does a bar for each one of these to sit on. Of course, that's now sitting too far forward. Okay, if I put it there, that's right. I do have the extra pistons I need because I brought them from the other one, but I could... Well, no, that's sitting right below. That's going to have to go back again. So 3 of them with 1 piston, and it should just push the whole bar across. I saw a little bit of sagging as I placed down the second one, so I'm hoping it's not going to be too much of an issue once it starts to push across. But we'll see. If it does become an issue, what I can do is add like some guide bars that come off of here. So when it gets to the end, it holds it up still, and it keeps it from sliding or, shifting too far downwards. So I'm just going to put it on the far side, so, or the, one closest to this. So when it goes across, it'll get past it more easily. I might not have to worry about extending it too far out. And we're going to go and tie it to each one. So that will trigger on each individual one. And then, you know what? I was going to need a controller for all of this, but if I can do it with just the one switch, one piston to do it, that saves even that resource, and I can put that to use elsewhere. Let's say I'm going to do it this one. And you got to make sure that everything is attached to the same base structure until they update the game to allow for separating out. But yeah, there we go. So we got that. Now I just need to set it to the right distance on the piston. So we're going to go max. And I'm not going to do the slowest speed, but I'm not going to go super fast either. And I can't reach that from here. Okay, I've got my water container hooked up to all 3 pumps. So we're going to go ahead and turn it on. Boom. And of course, it doesn't get the last one, which is what I was expecting because it's not reaching that far. There's only one more tiny upgrade option for the piston. That would be great. But as it looks, I'm going to have to either water these manually or just shrink it back. I really was thinking about taking those 3 out, but the veggie burger works great in multiples of 4 because of what you have to plant. So I'm going to plant the burger, and basically it's mainly these 3. So yeah, you want 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which leaves 2 when I have 18 here. So that's 16 total that I ideally need to be able to plant each time just to make it super simple. And then we'll throw a couple of potatoes in there so I have some extra potatoes being made. Obviously, I could do it where I just do all carrots. Do like 2 rounds of carrots and then 2 rounds of the tomatoes, 2 rounds of beetroot, and then like a big round of potatoes. But this way I'm getting 4 burgers every round. So instead of doing some complicated system that pipes all the way up, for now, I'm just going to have it pipe into this container. And once it's full, I just grab the whole container, walk back up here, use everything I have to get back up top, and I can hook it in to the actual water container and let it just drain out until it's almost done. And then I go put it back down there and do it again, unless, I get to the point where I have plenty of glass and I'm ready to make a piping system that goes from, maybe not right there, maybe something right there that goes up and over up to here. And I move this to like somewhere along this side. And I mean, it just has to be connected like that. It doesn't have to be physically touching them in any way. So really, I just need to have a way to pipe into that from that for it to work. And it just goes back to cost. So I decided to go ahead and kind of bring this back a bit because I keep bumping into the wall just like there. That wall. So I've been thinking for a while this was too narrow. I decided to go ahead and just expand it out 1 more block wide. And see there, even that, I'll bump into it and it's like, oh, you can't walk past this. It doesn't push around. That's like it's a solid square block as opposed to it being like an actual textured surface, because you don't slide to the side. You get stuck like there's a solid piece in front. Looking at this, that's really not that far away from that bit of land. If that was a little bit better setup, it'd be a cool place to build a base, or even just do a, like I'm going to build a little fortification there and then build a driving path that goes all the way across to here. Of course, it goes back to, in the end, there's enough room for bots to spawn over there, so no safe farming option like I have on this small island. All right, round 1 is done. Time to do round 2. Goes perfectly in reverse. So I'm going to start the slow process of migrating some stuff over here, starting with food stuff, because I'm going to be producing food over here. I think I'll move my cook bot over here and just have a few supplies of food over there just in case. and just start getting some stuff set up over here. It's not going to be the most decorative looking base, but it is going to be a functional base. But microwave, you know, it's going to sit there, and I've got a radio. We'll put the radio here for now. So I have a little music every now and then if I want. And something weird really happened a moment ago. I made a bunch of fertilizer, as you can see here, and I brought it over here and I used it on all the plants, and you can see all of them have the plus signs coming out. But what happened was I made 36 fertilizer, and I still have 36 fertilizer after I did the entire thing. It was meant to be 2 rounds, 18 each round. Somehow I managed to use the fertilizer without using it up, whereas every time I've used it in the past, every squirt was 1 being consumed. Not, it counts for 18 squirts or more, you know, from each. So I don't know if it's just glitched or what, but yeah, that happened. So that was weird. I triggered this to fire in reverse, and somehow it managed to water this one when it fired that round there. It didn't hit either of these, but it did hit the middle one. And again, here I go, squirting each one with fertilizer, and it's not consuming it. Yeah, I mean, did it suddenly change? They decided to suddenly rebalance it where it's like 100 squirts each? Because that, I mean, it's nice, but it doesn't say anything about it on the description that it suddenly is valued more. And that's why I made so many, because I thought I was going to use them up quickly. Okay, so I got worried for a second. I'm trying to take the cook bot out, and suddenly I start swimming. But the cook bot disappeared. I was getting really concerned that I was going to be like, oh, guess what? I lost the cook bot. Oh, and of course, I'm swimming and suddenly get dehydrated. Can I place this down? No, I can't. I am going to die. Can I? I cannot eat. I'm going to die. There we go. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm abandoning you. So there's a trick. If you're swimming and you need to drop the item you're carrying, just jump out of the water real quick and drop it. All right, another round of... Wow, okay, so yeah, it's splashing so much that it got... I saw one double up there. I guess the speed of the piston is causing it, which makes me wonder what happens if I go even faster. Is it going to, like, spread more, or is it actually going to be detrimental? We'll put it to the slowest speed for now, but yeah, that's interesting. It splashed 2 of these, and then it got those as well. That's interesting. So now I'm once again, fertilizer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 18. 18, and I didn't lose a single one. Look at that. If I do this, yeah. For some reason, the fertilizer is now endless, I guess. Something either bugged for my game, or they changed something with the fertilizer in a small update. But they didn't change the fact that you produce 5 at a time. So that's it for this episode of Scrap Mechanic. I have my new farming area. It works well. Weirdness in some cases with the water dispensing, but hey, it works. And exceptionally weird with the fertilizer becoming apparently infinite now for me for some reason. Not that I'm saying it's a bad thing, but it's definitely odd that it suddenly just happened. But yeah, that's it for this episode. So if you enjoyed it, hit that like button, leave me a comment below, and hit subscribe if you haven't done so already. As always, I'm your host, Mr. Spicy. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to keep it spicy this week, and I'll see you in the next video.